Hey, yo! Still the truck driver. How the flock are ya? Well, old YouTube went there and froze my account on my old video page. I can't post it. I can still see it. So I had to make this new one. But this comes under the heading of, how dumb do you think I am? Which can cover a lot of different things these days. As we all know, the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman case is over. And George Zimmerman was found not guilty. Doesn't mean he's innocent, he's just not guilty. And what a lot of people miss in this trial is that Florida has a stand your ground law that George Zimmerman never used, his attorney never used. And of course, when George Zimmerman was found not guilty, we got people out in like Oakland, California having race riots and stuff, busting up stuff, everything else in a few other places. I had a video up here about race riots and all that stuff, and a whole bunch of young blacks, liberal blacks, bunch of other liberals took offense to it, which is why I got my old video busted off of YouTube and my account frozen. But see, I was speaking the truth. They just can't handle it when you speak the truth. But happened to notice today, our genius Department of Justice head, Eric Holder, you know, the guy that screwed up Fast and Furious and all the rest of that, the guy that's probably got the moral fiber of a pig in heat, was down there in Florida today at the NAACP convention, spouting all kinds of liberalistic, socialistic, racial BS, and everybody's saying we need to repeal stand your ground laws because there's like 12 or 15 states that have it besides Florida. Everybody's all upset about this. Of course, we all know all the liberals are freaking out because we keep fighting for our Second Amendment rights to keep and own guns and be able to carry, either concealed or publicly. Trust me, that's one of my biggest gripes about our government. But I remember here in New Jersey, now I grew up in New Jersey, I've lived here over 50 years. I remember there was a time here in New Jersey where you had to be against the last wall in your house before you could defend yourself and apply force, which to include murder, shooting, killing, maiming your attacker. It was here. If somebody kicked your front door in to come at you, you had to be against your last wall in your house before you could retaliate with deadly force. Thank God those days are gone. But everybody wants to bitch and moan about stand your ground. Well, you know what? Suppose I sit there and walk out of my house at 2 o'clock in the morning to go up to the local Wawa, get me a pack of cigarettes. Now, I live in a fairly peaceful neighborhood, generally speaking. But suppose there's some individual out there. I don't care if they're black. I don't care if they're white. I don't care if they're Hispanic. I don't care if they're Oriental. And comes up and tries to stick a gun in my face or a knife in my face. You know, give me your money or else. I'm not going to lay down and just cough it up. Anybody that knows me knows I won't go that way. But if in the happenings of when I'm being accosted by an individual like this, I'm going to do my damnedest best to take that son of a bitch down and make sure they never get up off the pavement. And if that means throwing a karate kick to their head or their groin or their stomach, and then brain stomping their head on the concrete, I'm going to do it. Because you see, it sends a message to the public, which everybody seems to miss. I don't have any right to accost you. You don't have any right to accost me. But when you accost me, you are at your peril, because if I can get the drop on you, I'm taking you down and out any way I can. If I gotta pick a brick up off the sidewalk and beat you to death with it. But we are so politically correct today, even our cops have been kowtowed as to a thing called common sense. Oh, this guy was going to stab you, beat you, or why did you pick up a brick and beat him to death? Really? Come on, people. Where's your fucking brains? Why do you think so many women today are going out and getting pistol permits, concealed carry permits? This society that we have today is in the toilet. And you can go out and check all the statistics you want. The bulk of crime in America currently in big cities is black on black crime. The bulk of crimes that are committed, and this is FBI statistics, are black on white, robberies, rapes, murders, you name it, which runs just behind the black on black. 70% of the people that are in jail today for one reason or another for violent crimes are black or Hispanic. I think Hispanics are only about 13%, if I recall. But see, the politically correct, the liberal news media, all the rest of this doesn't want you to know about this because it's not nice. It's impolite to tell the truth. We will bury it on page 46 in our newspaper. And of course, when it comes to black crime or black life, for lack of a better word, 70% of the babies born in the black community today are by unwed mothers on welfare because there's no man in the house. They just want to go party and use welfare as their paycheck the rest of their life. It's a fact of life. Go look it up. But see, I remember as a kid in the 50s, I lived down in Mississippi and a couple other places. There was a black dad in a black household that would whip their kids' butts when they got out of line. But since the 60s and beyond, with the burn your bra types, the liberalistic, socialistic, we don't need men, and the divorce rate's over 50%, the new agenda we have here today is bleed the system dry. Nobody has taught these people, I'm going to say black, white, or Hispanic for that matter, what decency and rights and honesty are. And of course it is my opinion that if there were more black fathers in households coming up, there'd be a whole hell of a lot less crime. Why? Well, let's see. In my 43 years of trucking through all 48 states of the United States, working on loading docks, loading and unloading trailers, the average black guy, and I'm not going to include the players, the users, the druggies, and the rest of them, but the average black guy wants to sit there, do a job, get paid, go home, raise his family, watch TV, go to Little League, go to church, and all that. But there's a whole bunch of others out there that just sit there and say, nah, we don't want this, we don't need you. And we all know the moral fiber of America today, black, white, Hispanic, Oriental, you name it, is gone in the toilet. You know, I've said before, when I was growing up, as far as life's concerned, you had black, you had white, very little gray in between. And today, we got a little bit of black, we got a little bit of white, and a shitload of gray in between as far as society is concerned. That's whether it's religion, politics, morals, whatever agenda you want to dig on. But see, it's a situation now where America does need to come together. It does need some understanding. But when the bulk of the hate crimes, the race crimes, and all this happen, it's in minority groups. Go look up the FBI statistics if you doubt me. Actually, probably, if I think about it, most of the white crimes are what they call white-collar crimes, embezzlement, theft, stuff like that. A few bank robbers here and there. But that's because of this economy. The current administration for the last 5 years has put the economy in the toilet. And let's not leave out Wall Street, those greedy bastards up there. We're back over 15,000 on the stock index up there. We're still running about 8% unemployment. Those guys are making their millions. You and me, Joe Six-Pack types, are sucking wind trying to find a job. Wages are suppressed. This Obamacare Health Care Act with the IRS and everything else, and all the other stuff that's going down there in Washington, D.C., is killing the economy. It's killing our health care. Shit, you name it. Shit. I just saw on the TV, even the unions are upset with Obama and Obamacare because it's screwing with them. Now, these are the motherfuckers that sat there and went and voted for this black asshole. And then we get the idiots like Sharpton and Jackson, after this Martin Zimmerman case, out there doing their race baiting, just trying to be more divisive. Can we say America at this point is totally fucked? Until people like me sit there and say, hey, you know what? Y'all need a cup of coffee and a wake-up call. But no, I say shit like this, what happens to me? I get banned off of YouTube for speaking the truth, for speaking the self-evident, for speaking the obvious. And then I get called a racist, a hypocrite, a bigot, moron, all the rest of this good stuff. I've been on this earth going, next week, 67 years I've been on this earth. I've seen it all, from Harry Truman to the current jerk-off that's in the fucking White House. I promise you, the last 12 to 15 years, I have watched America go in the toilet politically, sociologically, ideologically. Our government has overstepped its bounds. The legislative branch, the judicial branch, the executive branch have blurred the lines on what the Declaration of Independence was written for, what the Constitution was written for, what the Bill of Rights was written for. And then we got all these liberalist, socialist, communist motherfuckers out there sitting there trying to blur it. I would remind you, at one time in the past, Rome was the biggest empire on the face of the earth, and it fell to ruin and has never come back. We've been here in America 237 years. We were at our zenith, and now I see us, just like Rome, falling into disrepair. America is nothing more than Sodom and Gomorrah anymore, and people just want to justify it. And then you wonder, there's people like me, E.T. Williams, Wild Bill for America, out there screaming and hollering like John the Baptist in the wilderness. The Lord is coming. I promise you, if God ever takes his protective hand off America, because God's been run out of church, been run out of the government, been run out of schools, and I said church, and that's true. If God takes his protective hand off America, America will become a third world nation in poverty, ruin, violence, and everything else. And I see it every day. Y'all don't get it. It's time for a wake-up call, folk. You don't like my commentary? That's fine. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, I'm not here to pat you on the back and say, oh, we're just going to make it all better now, aren't we? I'm here to make you think and make some critical decisions in your life. Do you want to live in the society that we live in now? Or you're just, I can't handle God, guns, and apple pie and mom. It's what made America great. The last greatest generation that existed in America was at the end of World War II. And since then, we've gone shit deep in the fucking toilet because of the liberalists, the socialists, the communists, the bleeding hearts, the tree huggers, you name it. And trust me, I will bang on Republicans, I will bang on Democrats, I will bang on the three sources of our government, which is the judicial system, the legislative branch, and the executive branch. Barack Obama, I'm tired of your fucking executive orders that you keep writing every fucking day because you know you can't get something through the Congress as a legal law. And by the way, speaking of legal law and the legislative branch, did you know last week our government, in its wisdom, enacted 6,600 regulations on everything from A to Z behind your back, and you got no fucking idea, and neither do I. But these unelected bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. get to enforce these laws, which we can't understand, make any sense out of, and probably should not have been enacted to start with. But you all seem to be missing this. You want to go watch Honey Boo Boo or something. Wake up, America! You're getting fucked. Get your head out of the sand or out of your ass. Truck driver's opinion, you understand.